Good evening. We'll call to order the regular meeting for the Oneonta City School District Board of Education for December 2nd, 2020. Can we have the roll call, please?
Mr. Grau?
Here.
Mr. Gaisford?
Here.
Mrs. Cashman?
Here.
Mrs. Burnsworth?
Here.
Mrs. Kurkowski?
Here.
Mr. Beckerink?
Here.
Mr. Reynolds?
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you. For our participants, there is a button at the bottom for Q&A. If you have a comment that you would like read during the opportunity to address the board, you can enter it there and I'll read it. There are two opportunities, one coming up in a minute or so, and then one near the end of the meeting. Resolved to accept the agenda as presented.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Resolved to accept the minutes of the November 18th, 2020 regular meeting as presented.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Abstentions? All right, that brings us to our first opportunity to address the board. I don't see any comments, so like I said, there is another opportunity if you wish to further down. Resolved that the reading of the Teaching and Administrative Personnel Memorandum 2020-20 be waived and that the action items dated December 2nd, 2020 be approved as recommended by the Superintendent of Schools.
So moved.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Mr. Grau, if I may, we'll notice on there the retirement of Mrs. Ann Wolstenholme after almost 37 years in education. Ann came to us in 2002, and she has served this community so very well. She's truly touched the lives of thousands of kids and truly shaped their future in many ways. Back in 2013, I had the pleasure of serving with Ann in the high school. Ann was the assistant principal at the time. And of course, just a couple of years ago, she became the high school principal. Just a wonderful human being, and wish her so very well in her retirement, but she will surely be missed.
I agree. Other discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
I will just make a note that my son is in there and I did vote for him.
Opposed? Abstentions? Thank you. That brings us to the superintendent's report.
All right, thank you. Just very briefly, today our maintenance team met with Day Automation and received some of the end of the project training relative to some of the new, more higher tech type products that we have, some of our rooftop units, as well as our lighting capability. So that was interesting training for sure. But it went well. There'll be more, but I just wanted to share that's what went on today. We also, if you've noticed, we are without any more storage containers out by the high school gymnasium. There's still one behind the building, but other than that, they're all gone, which is certainly a welcome sight. Other than that, just waiting for a time for the mosaic tiling to be applied in the high school, as well as the new carpeting in the high school library. But we're getting pretty close. We're getting really close. Aside from that, I did want to just provide a COVID update, just to let you know where we are. We have had a couple of additional positives over the last couple of days, none today, thankfully, but it does raise our total to 16, thus far. Most of them are of the more recent variety. With our decision to transition to remote learning, these new positives have fortunately have not had the dramatic impact that they would have if we were in school. So, at the most recently, we had almost 14% of our instructional staff that was either in protective quarantine or, or COVID positive, along with, almost 5.6% of our students. And happy to report that most of those folks have been released from quarantine, except some are still in isolation because they did transition to positive. But, I'm just, there are a couple of staff members who are positive. So, whoever, students, families, faculty, and staff, we're just wishing them well and hoping that the recoveries are quick and complete. And that is all I have tonight.
All right, any questions?
Tom, I have a quick question, just out of curiosity. Now that we're in full remote, how will you know if there's ongoing positive tests with students or faculty? Is it like, do you get notified by people who get tested positive, or is it the Department of Health that tells us that somebody, or how does that work?
It's a combination of both, Darren. And I'll be honest with you, this was one of the major factors in the decision to transition to remote. So if you take one of our fairly recent staff positives in the middle school, just due to the very nature of the role that our colleague played down there, the result was 17 other staff members placed in protective quarantine and 51 students placed in protective quarantine. Our protocol, because I just think it's the right thing to do, so people aren't getting the first time they hear about this, I would rather it not be from the Department of Health. So, we do our own contact tracing and we reach out just saying simply, this is a courtesy call. We can't tell you to quarantine, but just so you know, there is a positive and there's a good possibility that you would be deemed a close contact. Those names that we garner from speaking to, our faculty or staff member, then goes to the Department of Health. The Department of Health then inputs those names into a database. Then the contact tracers reach out to those folks. They have a conversation with them and say, this is the positive, what interaction did you have with the positive? Then they reach back out to the Department of Health, and the Department of Health either deems them a close contact and advises them to quarantine, or just the opposite. Now, the thing that got me was that had we not been proactive, some of the folks, some of the 17 didn't get contacted until 7 days after that positive. So if we're not reaching out, and it's no one's fault, the system is overburdened, but those folks could go about their lives, maybe not even knowing, and therefore continuing to, infect other folks, whether they contracted it and were asymptomatic, or, they became symptomatic, but 48 hours before, they were around other people. So that played a major role in the decision as well. That being said, the unfortunate reality is we have a very, very close working relationship with the Department of Health right now. Whether it's Heidi Bond or whether it's Tracy Delore, one of the state contact tracers, it seems like we are on speed dial. They had reached out again to me on Sunday. And I have to be honest with you, I was relieved that we were in remote on Sunday. Now that would have been the third Sunday, late Sunday, when we received, the news of a positive case. So, so Darren, that's a long answer to your question, but that's the process. And the unfortunate reality is it's not a great one at this time, just because the contact tracers are few and far between, and they're responsible for a huge area, including Oneida County, which is a real hot spot right now. So.
Okay, thanks, Tom. I was just wondering if going remote would somehow affect that process and affect our ability to continue to trace the positives in our district, so that when we do go back on January 19th, we'll still have a handle on exactly what's going on.
No, even our parents and obviously our staff members, they've all been very, very good. Sometimes, in almost all cases, they've reached out before we've heard it from the Department of Health. So.
Well, and also, I think at this point too, with how many cases Otsego County has, I mean, Otsego County right now is at 4.6% as of today. So we might not have a choice either. So the decision was the right decision, to go remote. There's no doubt about it, based on just the whole county.
Yeah, it is. The collective health of Otsego County is much worse than it was, certainly at the onset of COVID. And it's different. It's different when we had the spike with the students. This is all community transmission now, which is very different. So.
Right.
And a lot of it they haven't been able to trace.
Well, that is the scary part. There are many cases that they are having a very, very difficult time tracing the source of transmission.
And a couple of the instances are very specific instances that have affected a large number of people at gatherings and things too.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Anything else? Any other questions? All right, thanks, Tom. Move down to the financial memorandum. Resolved that the reading of the financial memorandum 2020-21 dated December 2nd, 2020 be waived, and that the financial action items be approved as recommended by the superintendent of schools.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Yes, most of it is a slew of change orders on there, but just a couple things to point out. The donation from Wilbur and Clark for the middle school backpack program, and they do make good use of that. And this organization is very generous to the middle school. They donate every year for that program. The train is an agreement for the pool pack unit at the pool. And we also needed a new fan motor. So in putting that together, it was cheaper to do the service agreement and the fan motor together. So that's why it's a little bit different than our normal contract with them. And the surplus are for 2 buses. When we get 2 buses, we usually surplus 2. This one, we got 2 large buses. This happens to be a small and a large. And the smaller one needed a lot of cosmetic work, so it would have cost a lot more to fix that one. So we did meet with the mechanic, and he, shared with us which 2 would be better to access. And the other thing to point out on there is the tax collector's report. And ironically, we thought we would collect less, but we normally collect around 92%. This year we collected about 94% of the taxes. So we actually collected more than normal. And about 1.2 million was turned over to the county. And we usually see that money from the county around April. So, and that's really everything else is a change order.
Any questions? All right, all in favor?
Hi.
Aye.
Opposed?
What
Abstentions?
happened?
All right, that brings us to our second opportunity to address the board, and we do have some comments now. The first one is from Tim. Dear members of the Board of Education, it has been an honor and a pleasure to work with Ann Wolstenholme for most of my career. As a teacher in the Oneonta Middle School, she was always so very optimistic and connected with students that needed the extra TLC. At CSE meetings, she was consistently positive and focused on student strengths, emphasizing what a child could do rather than dwelling on areas of weakness. Anne has always been willing to try new ideas that the special education teacher recommended and could be counted on to volunteer for committees and after-school events. I was very excited when she moved to the high school as the associate principal, as I knew that her empathy and dedication to students would still be very important. We had numerous conversations over the years. What if I try? As high school principal, she still brings that energy and passion each day, and it's not rare to see a smile on her face. This morning, we both reminisced about the many, got to jump down, it got skipped, about the many special moments, the students and student success stories we've been a part of, and agreed that our careers in the Oneonta City School District have been extremely rewarding. I wish her a happy and well-deserved retirement. Also, Kathy Lynch, congratulations and best wishes to Ann Wolstenholme on her retirement. Well-deserved after a 36+ year career in education. Ann has always been an outstanding advocate for children. It is just so fortunate that her retirement comes while we are in the midst of 100%. Oh, unfortunate, excuse me. It's so unfortunate that her retirement comes in the midst of a 100% remote learning. It would be great for our students to get the chance to honor her. Thanks for looking out for our kids, and you have been their #1 fan cheering them on. Nancy Osborne, wish Ann Wolstenholme the best of luck in her retirement. She will be greatly missed. She's a true professional and has touched the lives of so many students. And Ann has commented, thank you, Mr. Brindley. I appreciate all the support the Oneonta City School District has given me throughout the years. It has been an honor and a privilege to be part of this community. And Juan Pablo has just added, I would like to say congratulations on Ann's well-deserved retirement. Thank you for everything you've done for our students. Thank you for everything that you've done for me during my time here at the Oneonta City School District. You were not only my boss, but you were teaching me every day throughout the process. Enjoy your retirement. All right, thank you all for your comments. We certainly agree with those, and I'm sure we'll echo them coming up right now. It is roundtable, and let's make sure I get everybody tonight.
Mr. Grau,
Yes,
could I interrupt one moment, please?
sure.
We just need Mrs. Kurkowski's vote for the business manager's report. I don't think her microphone was on.
It wasn't. I hit my video instead of my microphone. So aye.
Thank you. I'm so sorry. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so we'll start with Jamie.
Well, we certainly know Reggie's awake, that's for sure. Good catch. Really, no committee reports, but you know, best wishes, of course, to Ann. I found it interesting when I first met her here that I think she went to Potsdam State and actually did her student teaching at my alma mater. I was long gone, but my youngest sister was there. So we had this little North Country connection, and you know, we don't have retirements of our administrators too often here. So certainly my best wishes for her and what retirement looks like, and all the happiness you could possibly want. But it's really all I have.
All right, Amy.
Thank you. I have no committee reports, and I too want to congratulate Ann on her retirement. Enjoy every minute of it. It's well deserved. I know firsthand your compassion and advocacy for your students in my experience with my own kids at OHS. So thank you and best wishes to you.
Colleen.
Congratulations, Anne. I'm going to be sorry that my children do not get to experience your wisdom and TLC as they move up into the high school. But enjoy retirement. 37 years in education is a long time. So, all right. So today I was able to but listen to the webinar for institutional racism, raising awareness and meeting the needs of all students. So that was good, another hour and a half. There's one more webinar in this series, and that'll be after the first of the year. Learning quite a few things and also getting some educational stuff that I can share with everyone that's free. I said that to Tom earlier today in an email. Free is always good. And he also sent Bill and I an email earlier today about someone that would be interested in helping us with the committee too. So that would just about be it for me.
All right, Darren.
I have nothing new. I would just like to also extend my gratitude and thanks to Anne and congratulations on her retirement. And it's always kind of bittersweet to say goodbye to somebody who's put closer to 40 years than 30 years into the education system, but she's touched the lives of countless students in our district. And I think that we all just wish her a happy retirement. Thanks, Anne. That's all I have.
Sue?
Make sure I hit the right button. I don't have any committee reports, but I also want to congratulate Anne. I think all three of my kids, whether definitely Kate on a personal level and her history with Aaron in sports, and from the middle school on, all three of my kids have been honored to have Anne in some capacity. And I just really want to thank her for everything that she's done for the district and me personally, and our kids. And I hope you and Scott enjoy your retirement. Thank you.
Sean.
You did that on purpose, didn't you, Bill?
Just the way it is.
Just the way it fell. I get it. Just a couple things again. No committee reports, unfortunately. And I myself attended that meeting as well, Colleen, the webinar. I was a few minutes late because I had a contractor here, but it was interesting. It really opened your eyes and a lot of different information that was being presented. So I was glad I had an opportunity to attend that. And I think it goes without saying, I made a point when Tom was talking earlier about you early in this meeting, and I'm just watching Tom, and I know he wanted to smile. He just had that look on his face, which means to me what you actually and still do and always will represent and mean to this district. A lot of years put into it. And as we say to those who are retiring, you made it to the finish line. You have your health. What more can you ask for? Go enjoy it. You and your husband completely deserve it. And I hope I get to see some of these games again soon so I can see you wearing the Oneonta yellow jacket garb. I make it a point to find you on the stands to say she's wearing something today of OHS. So, and congratulations. You enjoy it and you deserve it. I'm done, Bill.
All right, thanks. Well, I too, Anne, want to say congratulations and thank you. You know, when I heard 37 years, I personally didn't believe it, but you know, it's been a great career. I know how many lives you have touched. I know what you meant to my kids as they came through, whether they had you or not. They knew who you were and they could count on you. You know, we've been down the road in sports and all of those things. And you know, what Tim said about your compassion and what Kathy said about your being the kids' cheerleader and cheering them on and your positivity, all of those things have been great. And you know, we're really going to miss you, and we really appreciate everything that you've done for for our kids and for our kids and for the district. So thank you. Enjoy your retirement. I hope it's long, happy, and healthy, and that you and Scott have wonderful things to do. So thank you. I don't have any committee reports also. So with that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn to executive session for the purposes of special education and personnel.
So
So
moved.
moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? We're adjourned. Thank you.
Aye.
The Zoom wave.
Headphones have got me like, I feel like I'm in the middle. Let's leave this meeting. There we go.